Guys, Casey Santana with Rich Soil Podcast. We're back again with another guest, and this time we have a little bit of a juicier plant medicine to dive into. So, welcome, Brice. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's been a long time in coming in works. I feel, as I said before, I'd mentioned to you that I've seen a couple different people in our community enjoying the craftsmanship that you guys have put out with the goodies here, the treats that you guys make, and it's Mush-Melo or marsh. It's not really marshmallow, but they're like marshmallows. I don't think I should open one. But tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from SoCal? And then we'll dive into what you guys are crafting right now for us.
Cheers. Yeah, long time in the making for sure. Mush-Melo is the brand. It is mushroom infused marshmallows. Uh, 15 of them come in a pack of an eighth, which basically makes each little marshmallow a nice 0.23 gram microdose. I personally have been in the natural remedy or entheogen or plant medicine, however you want to call it, space. Been working in cannabis for the past about 10 years, but really grew up with them. There they are.
Excited. I'm
Yeah,
tempted to take one. Sorry.
and gluten free, great ingredients. We'll get into that, but yeah, just been kind of working in this space and really seeing how it can benefit people from so many different walks of life. I currently am in remission from leukemia, so cannabis has helped me through that a lot, and continues to. And but smaller things, anxiety or whatever it is, there's so much benefit, and one of the really cool things that I like about the psilocybin, space, if you will, is the combatant nature of the pharmaceutical industry and antidepressants and things like that, which is, kind of become an epidemic in our country, opioid crisis and all that kind of stuff. I really like that as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, our brand is really about leisure and togetherness and kind of finding those moments that you can share with one another that um, you know just kind of little nostalgic things, roasting marshmallows over the fire or sipping hot cocoa, in the blanket, watching your favorite movie, whatever it is, just kind of bringing engagement together and enhancing those moments to being even more enjoyable.
Yeah, I love that. I'm all about health. I'm all about wellness and community. So I think you guys are doing a good job at making sure you guys are covering that with your brand. I usually ask my guests because I'm huge as far as covering our plant medicine community to be very much part of wellness and have a very active, healthy lifestyle. Do you have a fitness routine that kind of goes into your morning routine, or do you have like I know you said you were just recovering from remission, so it may look different, but I imagine you're probably a lot healthier than most, being that you've gone through that and taking it a little bit more careful as far as what you supplement your body with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's my top priority, and just recently I've kind of really dived into um, just kind of mental state and breath work and meditation and things like that. But um, yeah, every morning doing yoga, every night doing jump rope, uh, you know 3 to 5 days a week doing kind of structured workouts and stuff. So very active and um, firm believer that uh, you don't really need to go to the gym to build muscle or be healthy or have good cardio health.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, nature provides, right? So any kind of like body weight work or, calisthenics, but
Yeah.
really just, going on a hike, going for a surf, whatever, like you'll see people in great shape just doing that. So
Yeah.
that's my secret.
I love it. And you're one of the very few to answer with a non-negotiable. I asked in a quick questionnaire with all my guests, what is a non-negotiable for you? And you put sunshine. And I don't think people understand how beneficial something like that is. Especially, I would say, there's a lot of studies now, like first thing in the morning to try to get that sun in, move your body at the same time, and to even actually like let it hit your eyeballs, like not just like wear sunglasses, try to absorb the sun rays. And so is there a reason why that was like a non-negotiable for you? Is there studies behind that, or is just like I'm a little bit of a sun guy? I don't like gloomy weather. So for me, I totally resonated with that. I need the sun. I always say like I'm a lizard. Like I'm cool with the 90s, the hundreds.
Yeah.
Anything below 70, I can't even wear like ripped jeans.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, just I guess intuitively, honestly, like, you think about kind of the scope of our cosmos and how, the universe is structured, and how, sunlight kind of gives life to everything, whether it's from plants or um, stars or anything in between. That just there's so much interesting science behind, uh, light waves and particles and kind of that transference of energy. But it's an undeniable source of energy. And yeah, getting outside, kind of first thing in the morning. And um, I don't want to get too kind of in the weeds per se, but grounding is another thing that is very interesting to me, and basically how our Earth has been, you know, uh, getting hit with sunlight for a very, very long time, and how those particles have actually kind of embedded themselves into the Earth, and how, you know, just connecting to the Earth itself can actually bring those particles through your feet and kind of combating, free radicals and things like that that I, completely ignored in my early 20s. And I think that led to me getting sick because, I lived a city life. I wasn't getting outside. I, was under HID lights and, all of that. And, getting back into uh, kind of how I grew up, which was in the Santa Monica Mountains of Los Angeles. I would, be running around barefoot in the mountains, getting sunlight, going to the beach all day, and um, really kind of relearning the value of that and prioritizing that for sure.
Yeah, there's like an unexplainable like juvenating like energy that I get every single time that my feet hit the sand and you're in that you hear the ocean and my kids are drawn to it. My boy who's going to be 5, he has sensory issues, and all we do is take him to the beach all day long, especially during the summertime, and he's the calmest there. And there and he it's not, I don't think it's just because he's, has sensory issues. I think just in general, like I said, there's something about there's energy there that's very calming. And people talk all they want about having my kids being very I would say like dressed all the time and really prep. They're not. It's half of the time they're not wearing shoes. I don't care. They rarely wear clothes. I have a really big backyard. Right now he's playing with mud. It's something about what we're told and what we grew up in, and especially I think Los Angeles, California, SoCal area, we're not around much land to be free on and enjoy, and we lose sight of that, especially if we're caught up in the day-to-day work. I know I was molded, or I come from a family that comes from corporate banking, and so that was all we knew is like go to school, get a job, find benefits, and buy a house and move on, and that's it. There's no like actual spiritual wellness ever in our generation, I don't think. And I think our generation took the time to actually, a lot of people, at least in my community that are about our age and our generation, are willing to kind of turn the leaf and kind of put the questions out there and not just kind of go by everything that we see and everything that we're told. We're kind of like okay to break the rules because it just fuels us differently. So I see that in generations. But I'm glad you're not under the HID lights. I don't know if that's because you were living corporate life. Is that why you say that?
That's right. Yeah, I got out of college and immediately went into risk management. So basically, the most boring actuary insurance practice you could go after.
I was gonna ask in
suited
what
up every day.
in what industry, because insurance is already uh yeah, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
It's not the funnest, and it's not organic, but I totally know because I come from a corporate banking, so I know a lot of politics come into play. And it was always for me living the two life. Like I'd get dressed in the morning, speak a certain way, and then after, I'm at the gym smoking my bowls in the car, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this can't be healthy. And I think I came
Yeah.
across like Joe Rogan's one of his episodes where he talks about being robotic and being put in these cubicles under these lights and being miserable. And I'm like, oh, that's me. Get me out of this. So it's been since 27 that I've decided to leave that career and really harness, um, being an advocate as a mom for plant medicine, and also being an advocate for people that are into bodybuilding. I did competing for a very short period of time, but I won a couple things and I did it with weed. And so it wasn't something that I talked about then just because I don't think I was comfortable yet, but it's always been part of my life. Has weed or psilocybin always been part of your life?
Yeah, psilocybin kind of a little bit more recently, but cannabis for sure. I grew up with it. Like I said, I was in the Santa Monica Mountains. My parents were actually cool with me kind of like growing it when I was like 15, 16.
Oh, lucky you.
Um, yeah, yeah. So, um, all things in moderation, and with intention. So, it wasn't like an escape for me. It wasn't like, you know, any kind of like addiction or anything. For me, I've always found that like it's never been hard for me to like forget about it, like accidentally, like, just going about my business kind of like, oh, like, I haven't smoked in like a week, or like I haven't smoked in a few days or whatever. Like, I'm not like, scratching my neck, like, oh, when am I going to get my next joint or like whatever.
Right.
Um, it's always just been kind of like a supplement or, um, something that, again, kind of helps me, um, bring, community together, share moments, or, really dive into something that uh, is creative for me, whether it's just listening to music or working on kind of, um, different kind of creative projects in business or anything. So, yeah, I've definitely got a strong relationship with it. And yeah, definitely, kind of started feeling things about it was, lifesaver. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think what you said earlier, the intention behind consuming plant medicine, not just weed. I think especially for doing psilocybin, there's all types of different, the ayahuasca. There's always like a preparation and then intention type of work through, and then a reflection. It's like it's certain stages to help you really push through these barriers in a wellness type of way. So I love hearing that. Tell us a little bit how you got started with Mush-Melo, how that maybe helped you going through some of the things that you went through with leukemia, and thank you for sharing that with us. I'm glad
Mhm.
you're better and you look
Yeah.
thriving and great and smiling and very positive energy spewing out of you. So yeah, tell us what got you to that, and if that was part of what led you to creating that for us to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, just kind of being in the cannabis industry for a while, I started to kind of notice, just different products and the community kind of being brought together, and just this whole stigma kind of changed with education, really. And when I was younger, really all we had was kind of like, kind of crappy weed. And, um, the handful of times that I did try mushrooms, it was always like a macro dose or a hero dose with my friends to like go to a music festival or like, go on a cool like camping trip or whatever. But I really wasn't educated about just the whole plant science in the way that I had become through my experience with cannabis. And I came to learn about, microdosing. A lot of people have heard in the last couple of years. It's kind of this thing where, people didn't really even consider those effects, like the non-psychoactive side of things. and all of the applications that, whether it's, having a hard time sleeping, having a hard time focusing, um, not so much having a hard time with anything, but maybe just wanting to take things to the next level. And it's funny you should mention ayahuasca, because recently, we hear about like how Aaron Rodgers, had took it, like a week before his like, record breaking Super Bowl game or whatever. And he talked about in a press conference and he was like, yeah, people need to reconsider the applications of these things because it's not just for hippies and people that, are kind of low lives and have nothing better to do. It's got real world applications and um, you know, whether you're a all-time pro quarterback or whatever, it can still help you and it can still, these things, when applied correctly with the right intention, um, can be really cool. So, kind of back to how I got started in it was just again through my connection with nature and um, camping is like a huge thing for me. I love the outdoors. Just got a brand new Bronco and a tent on
Oh,
the
I
roof
love
so I
those.
can,
Right.
go around anywhere and pull up and pop up a tent and that's my happy place and
Yeah.
uh, you can see on the front of our bag we've got like a campfire and that's just kind of a really special moment. Under the starry sky you can kind of look up and be um, just kind of at awe with the universe and you know kind of not going on a tangent again but there's so much that we don't know uh, you know thinking on the past like 300 years, 500 years of humanity, like there's still people think the earth is flat or, the sun is the center of the universe or whatever. Like
Let's
we
not go
are just, learning. Yeah. So, um, all of the things that we don't know is kind of, supplemented by intuition and kind of what the universe speaks to us with. Um, and that maybe we don't have the science to explain, but we can definitely feel. So,
there.
that moment of like sitting around the campfire, under the stars, kind of like, wow, nature is so like unexplainable and just immense, but like also we're part of it and it can ground you and just kind of bring you back to the importance of just sharing life. Like life itself is unexplainable, but it's so obvious at the same time. Like our purpose here is like nobody knows, but like we all know. So like that was kind of I guess like our mission. Is to just bring people back down to earth, but also to be conscious of like how amazing everything is and how grandiose our scale of existence is and how lucky we are and um just to enjoy those little moments.
Yeah, I think you tap in. It's, like not walking around subconsciously, that robotic self. This allows you to really tap into your actual consciousness. It makes you, so much more aware. I think psilocybin has been kind of put in the mainstream with mud water, with all those different products out there. But when you're talking about how you guys have dosed it to where we're still able to reap the benefits of the health part of it, and it's not just something that's becoming trendy, because I know it's become a huge talk now and people are more open to it. I think this is where the older generation is more aware of it. But then there's the side where the veterans, I've, had a couple guests on who've talked about how it's helped them through PTSD. I've had moms talk about how it's helped them go through their postpartum depression. I still follow tons of different social platforms that talk about how beneficial this is to you on a microdosing level, whether it's teas. What other, do you guys just do the marshmallows or do you guys have other forms? Because I thought I saw other options, or you had maybe talked about different ways to use it.
Yeah, honestly, it's just the marshmallows. We are going to be making kind of, more kind of fun products that will involve kind of like a marshmallow aspect. But yeah, we're going to be coming out with different flavors. and also just kind of back to what you were mentioning about, other mushrooms. There are, amazing, functional mushrooms out there. And again, like we know so little still about, the variety and species of different mushrooms and all the benefits that they can bring. Um, so we're definitely going to be, developing different flavors and things like that, to incorporate those things and bring them in as well. But um, yeah, again, the focus is really just kind of uh, enjoying the little things, the nostalgia, and um, the experience.
Yeah, I love it. I think, we're emotional creatures. We thrive off of experience. That's kind of how our nervous system is how it's functional. So I love that you guys really try to do that in your branding and just yourself. You're kind of a walking advertisement for what you guys are trying to target with what you guys do here. So I love that. I love being able to feel the organic in why you guys created something and it wasn't, for clout, it wasn't for money. It's just so natural. If you were to say there's one service, I would say for you that is your target as far as what you guys give back to our community, what would you say that would be besides obviously creating great treats that taste good as well? Bringing people together. Is there anything else? I know you guys cover diversity as well. Is there anything that you want to touch on that as far as what you give to our community?
Yeah, we've been really active in kind of like the event space, and kind of there's so many different communities that can be brought together with this. Like we kind of mentioned, how mothers are able to use it. So there's like that whole mom demographic. There's people with illnesses or things that they're going through, depression, anxiety, whatever it is. There's that kind of whole subset. But yeah, our main mission is really just kind of bringing people together from all walks to kind of experience this thing and, um, you know, uh, I guess just kind of facilitating education with that. Because at the end of the day, I think that fear is kind of amplified by ignorance. So if we can, educate people and kind of bring them together in a way that they can experience this with intention and kind of, giving them the tools to understand its functionality and just the benefits that come from it. There's so many different, pieces that this can plug into and different walks of life, different situations, so many things that can be brought together and um, people can share that openly and not be judged by others in that space because everybody knows that um, it's such a wide spectrum of you know experience that people are able to kind of um, share, but it's unique to them, and so it's still special.
I
So
know community, you guys are hoping to reach, from what you guys wrote in the little bio that we will put in the description of today's video, is just so it just fits perfectly as far as what you guys are targeting and why you guys are doing what you guys do, as far as making sure that it's not just about having a cool product out there because that's what's going on. There's actually benefits to it. There's a story behind it. I'm sure you have a reason as to why you're attracted to plant medicine. So I think it's a great thing that you're doing as far as really harnessing and advocating to be amongst one another and to find community that you're aligned with. And then, you get to experience these things together. The branding that you guys do, when I see certain things on social media, I'm like, I want some of those, like the sharing of it. I love that that's out there. And you guys just do a really great job about keeping it organic. Where can we support you and where can we find these yummy treats?
Yeah, so really just kind of trying to cultivate the community. Instagram's been, a very great platform for us. Unfortunately, with like things like cannabis, Instagram has not been very friendly, and just fortunately, it's been very accessible to connect with us and ask questions, us providing information. We're currently building out our website right now, so
Mm.
within the next couple of weeks, we'll have something up that even gives a more in depth and kind of like a home base for just different resources and articles that have been written for us. This interview, this podcast will definitely be there, and
Hey.
um, yeah, so yeah, right now just the Instagram, shoot us a follow. If you got any questions, let
You
us know. Yeah, yeah.
are good about that.
Yeah, but we're definitely trying to be in person as well and showing face and not really like kind of hiding behind any screens or anything. Like we want to be out, in the world and sharing this and, really standing behind what we do in person and just trying to normalize it and really educate and be there to kind of in real time um, give support and any other resources that we can.
That's dope. I think you guys will go a long way. I'm excited to see where you guys go from here. We're always here to support you guys. And
Thank you.
before I let you go, we will make sure that we put all of that in our description here of this episode. I normally do a like rapid fire. It's usually just, one word answers or one sentence, but they never go that way. So don't feel free to like completely veer off and tell me a story, but we try to keep it short. There's 7 questions. I call them my 7 grams. They're around just you personally as a person and what you enjoy as far as weed and what you enjoy as far as healthy and fitness wise. So if you don't mind, we're going to jump into those. You could
Let's do it.
smoke a bowl, you could eat a mushy, whichever you want to do.
Oh, it's
I'm
not within
tempted.
arm's reach, but yeah,
Yeah, I gotta get my
totally.
kids in a little bit, but I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, I think I could do one. I think one will make me even be like the best mom today. That's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
love about microdosing. I mean, personally, for me, it really puts me in a very good mood. And the next day I feel like extra energetic. It's crazy. So I am looking forward to see your educational pieces and your site build out. I think I'm, really excited to learn more about this. I know a lot of people have been tapping into it from our weed industry. So it's just started. I think that's like infancy stage as far as going this route, not just like the old school like here's an eighth, put it in some In-N-Out burger on pizza and you're good. And then you're like
Yeah,
either like up or down. It's like who knows? And they don't know
yeah.
what strain it is, what the, benefits are or how much it was. So I appreciate your work and sharing it with us. And
Thank you.
we will make sure we get more word out on Mush-Melos. But
Cheers.
here
Thank you.
we go.
Let's do
Number
it.
one, introvert or extrovert?
Oh man, I never know how to answer this.
Now that's common.
Honestly, yeah, I would say I'm pretty introverted, honestly. You know, me and my cat will kind of hang out and just kind of zone in on whatever I do. I've been known to be a bit of a workaholic, so I often kind of get lost in what I'm doing, and um, I'll check my phone and I have 20 unread messages or whatever, and um, not a huge like going out to parties or if it's a more like kind of comfortable setting or whatever,
Yeah. Camp
I'm
vibes.
cool with that, but not big into like the clubbing or
Yeah. I didn't
anything too hectic, so
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, a lot of men are introverts from what my guest lineup has been. So, number 2, yoga or weightlifting.
yoga for sure. Already, yeah.
Yeah.
I've really gotten into it. My dad actually introduced me. He's fully vegan. He does, breath work and yoga, meditation, transcendental meditation. But yeah, with yoga, you're able to do, calisthenics and things. So you can get pretty ripped off of just doing yoga.
Yeah, it's a hate love relationship for me. I've said it before. It's something that I'm learning to do, but I've incorporated breath work in the morning. I'm learning to go through that. We're actually reading Jay Shetty's book right now, Think Like a Monk, and he goes through different types of breath work and meditation and how much that really just enlightens and just helps us as humans really understand the importance of our nervous system and just how important it is to control our minds in
Yeah.
this crazy ass loud world. Uh, so yeah, that's a whole different topic I'm sure we could talk about, but yeah, we got to get your
Yeah.
dad out to do like a whole event. That'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, this is strain lane number 3. We just go down some random old school strains. It's either going to be indica, sativas. So let's go with, if you had a choice to pick from these, Northern Lights or Sour Diesel.
Oof. You know what? Honestly, I re fell in love with sour diesel recently. I was in a cannabis competition over in New York, and on the East Coast, the sour diesel, the haze, those kind of really like hairy sativas,
Yeah.
um, they're just a staple over there. And over here we've got such an indica culture where
OGs.
um,
Yep.
yeah, the OGs, and I've really actually come to appreciate the sativas and the productivity that I can get out of it. Um, so yeah, the sourdough for sure.
Nice. Nice. Hardcover book or audiobook?
Ooh, hardcover for sure. Yeah,
Nice.
I've got three that I'm reading right now.
Three.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Are an
And I
introvert.
just love taking notes. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I alternate between books and yeah, making notes and
Oh,
dog
because
earing
you're an active
pages and
reader.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
and then you can share it with somebody. You can pass along and they'll see their notes and write notes on your
Yeah.
notes, and
Yeah, no,
that's
I
really
was like, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or wiser, but I'm enjoying reading the hardcover books. I've done, I like podcasts, audiobooks, but I've never been a big, heavy reader. So in the past 2 years, I've incorporated reading 10 pages every day, and that's just built up my just genre of books, I should say. And my husband's obviously a big reader, and he's more into art and photography, so he reads different things than I do. And it's funny how you find like what you're interested in. So I imagine you have different types of books that you're reading. So for me, it's usually like personal development. I find those a little bit easier to read, biographies, something that I could learn and take back from. But usually, like if they're fiction or they're like random stories, I find myself like really like lost, not active with it, and I have to almost like reread the chapter or something. But I'm
yeah.
learning, so I'll get
And
some
I
tips.
guess just on a little side note there, I actually published a book when I was 25, um, called Millennial Chivalry. And I wrote that book when I was like studying abroad. I studied abroad all 4 years of college throughout France and Switzerland. And I noticed, and this is kind of like a recurring theme in my life, just the concept of engagement, and how we engage in Los Angeles versus how they engaged in a small city in France. You will not find a TV on any of the walls in any of their restaurants. If you take your phone out at dinner, you will be dismissed from the table. Um,
I
so
love
yeah,
that.
I kind of, at the time, uh, Instagram, Facebook, Tinder, all those things were just coming out. And I was, kind of experiencing this culture shock. So, yeah, actually, I got to share that with you. I'd be happy
Yeah,
to
I
send
wrote
you
it
a
down. I was
copy of
like,
that.
ask Brice about books because
Yeah,
and
yeah,
friends because I totally feel that from you. And I wasn't sure if you incorporated the engagement with your audience to be so important and part of this brand from your corporate risk. Like, did you, because obviously I know that we have to do those fucking certifications on like every 90 days
yeah.
in a corporate setting. So I was like, I wonder where that came from. But now that you said you study abroad, and yeah, that totally makes sense. We're gonna have to bring you back. guys, just so you know, we're off the tangents. This is supposed to
All
be
right.
rapid fire again, but it's Rich Soil
Yeah,
Podcast, so it's never rapid fire around here.
that's right.
But yeah, we'll touch back on that. I love that. Sun grown or indoor flower?
Oof, that is another good one. I've been working a indoor grow facility out here in Adelanto.
Okay.
My day job is actually COO of a company called Fiore. So that is a 50,000 square foot indoor grow facility with, the, some of the original founders of cookies. And, I won't get into all that, but the indoor genetics really have my heart and, just the kind of sharp, distinctive flavors and controlled environment that you can really tweak and kind of, um, just really craft something that's very, very, structured and kind of unique. And unfortunately, indoors kind of gotten a bad rap with some of like the, different pesticides and things, but you don't have to do that indoor. You can use living soil indoor.
Um,
Um, so
I
yeah,
just
indoor
had,
genetics.
yes.
Rapid fire, indoor.
Right. Yeah. Right. We're like, no, it's cannabis. We talk all day. We
Yeah,
talk about something and we just dive right into it. So,
yeah,
no, that's great. And I love that you touched on living soil. I just had a guest on from Surprise, Surprise, Royal Key Organics, and they use living soil. And I think people in SoCal, we're all indoor because that's all we know. But then we also don't know about living soil. And I think that's where a lot of people fuck up or miss out on because I am a big sun grown person. I would rapid fired, but I would say indoor all day until I became an Emerald Cup judge and I got to experience some, sun grown product that was done right and blows my mind the terpene profiles and the flavor that come from some of those products. So it is something that is hard to go by, but I am a soil person. So, I can
yeah,
appreciate the indoor operations that are doing some that are still in soil. But
yeah.
yeah, no, I did a couple grow ops myself, and there were always rock wool. And then it wasn't till maybe last 2 years that I started doing just soil. But being indoor in a suburban area, it's really hard to maintain the bugs and with the heat. You're at Adelanto, I'm in North Fontana, so you're not too far from me.
Yeah.
The heat here is ridiculous. It's like what been over 100 the past day. So yeah, they always say try doing outdoor, and I'm like, you don't understand. They don't
Yeah, it's
fucking
not an option.
survive. There's no fucking way. So dry. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, that's exciting. I love that got your hands on the plants. I've yet to go out to an actual farm or cultivation center. I've been invited to. It's just, I haven't gotten there yet. And I can't imagine, I've been in around 30 plants to go. Well, I've been to a couple indoor facilities out here. Coast to Coast has been nice about letting me in their indoor grow.
love those guys.
Wayland's the shit and their team
Yeah,
there. And then West Coast Cannabis out in the Palm Desert area, they also have a hybrid, and I've seen those. But like, the big, big warehouse greenhouses where you guys have acres of it, like how do you maintain that? I can't imagine. And then just metrics that alone, that all the tags. That's a different
yep.
story, guys.
Yeah.
But yes, sun grown, indoor flower, living soil. People don't forget about your options there. And then the last two are who would you say are the three biggest influencers in your life? It can be a family member, a mentor from afar. Who would you say got you to where you are today?
If I had to choose three, and I know this is kind of corny, I would say my mom and my dad. First to my dad, he's a businessman, entrepreneur. He's got a company and kind of taught me so many valuable lessons. And I'll keep it short, but one of his um, one of his best teachings was the no assholes rule. So um,
Yes.
doesn't matter how much money is on the table, if you don't like the people that you're working with, and if you don't like what you're doing, and just have an off feeling about them, then you shouldn't be there. And that's been a big light for me, just to kind of like realize when I was in insurance, like the people that I was working with were not good people. And there's a lot of shady stuff. So, he helped me out, through my career and finding, alternate industries, right? Like cannabis is still federally illegal, but there's people on payroll getting benefits, and gave me the confidence and the encouragement to chase that. And then my mom, she would definitely be the person that's just given me inspiration to do what I love, and to go out in the world and not, not worry about everything or anything, because everything's going to be okay. And if you just follow your heart, that'll guide you the right place. And yeah, it's definitely given me the what I call the correct definition of love. I think that
Yes.
yeah, shout
Learning
out to
that as a
mom.
mom. Learning that
Yeah,
as a mom, how important it is to not raise assholes. You know,
yeah,
it's like kindness first and then money.
yeah,
Don't worry about materialistic and money. And
yeah,
you probably harness that with your dad being very aware of meditation and breath work. So
yeah,
I love that you chose your parents, and you're not the only one that has said that. So is there
yeah.
anybody else?
Number three, I would say a man named Edwin Movigarian. He is the CEO of Cookies Los Angeles. He's the CEO of Fiore. I've worked with him for about 5 years now, starting off compliance at Cookies, going, uh, promoted to, general manager, purchaser over there, kind of running that whole micro business, learning the ins and outs of cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, retail, every single point of the interest industry, and then giving me the chance to be COO of Fiore and run their operations. Over 100 employees, running a sales team, marketing team, and just letting me spread my wings. And yeah, just being a mentor and leading by example for uh, the field that I'm in, and kind of being there for me for whatever challenges I face. I
Nice.
wouldn't move again.
Congratulations to you. It sounds like you're doing big things. And I love that you're able to still take your career background into the cannabis industry. I think a lot of us have done that. And that is exactly what makes our community so diverse and thriving, even though it's harsh as fuck. And again, it doesn't always we're not getting paid bank to be in these roles, but it's the love and passion that we have that makes it continue. And so I love that. Thank you for sharing that. What brings you the most joy in life? And that's the last one.
Nature, nature, just everything about it. From the sun to the dirt to the water to the trees, uh, animals, humans. I find it all fascinating in uh, how diverse everything is, but how at our very core everything is, the same atoms and the same nucleus, and we're all made of the same, stardust or whatever, and we all share that kind of intrinsic composition. But again, it's so diverse, and you'll never meet two people that are even close to like, the same. Um, so yeah, I'm fascinated by nature.
I love it. Thank you for going through the rapid fire with us. I like asking these just because we're able to dive in a little bit deeper about who you are and kind of what molded you as a person. The whole thing for me is to really highlight the people behind these brands that are in our community, whether that's cannabis or psilocybin. Plant medicine needs a lot of education on different culture levels. So this is, the time that I enjoy the most is getting to know people like yourself and learning more about you. And we hope to have you back again because it sounds like we got to talk about your book. We're definitely going to get that information and put it on this episode to see where we can still find and support that if it's still out there. But thank you
Yeah,
again for your
Amazon.
time. Thank you for the good treats. I can't wait to try this. You guys will be seeing me experience this on Instagram, I'm sure, on my stories if you guys follow me personally. But yeah, if there's anything we can do to support you, please let us know. We are all about wellness and the plant medicine, and just making sure that we continue to grow in an organic way and align ourselves with people like yourself. Good people.
That's right. Thank you, Casey. I appreciate this so much. And yeah, looking forward to talking soon.
Guys, we have a good one. And everybody, thank you for tuning in to Rich Soil Podcast. Stay tuned for more episodes. And if you guys need to rewatch episodes, make sure you catch them on YouTube.